Good morning again, Hope Church, and welcome to another devotion, our daily devotion. This morning we're going to be looking at Psalm 32, the Psalm of David. And if I were to confess, one of my favorite Psalms. We're going to be looking at the few opening verses, and I hope that you will feel blessed and encouraged and strengthened by the end of this devotion. I'll read for us and then we'll make some few observations. Verse 1, the Psalm of David, a Maskil. Blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the one whose sin the Lord does not count against them, in whose spirit is no deceit. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy on me. My strength was sapped as in the heat of summer. Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgression to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin. Therefore let all the faithful pray to you while you may be found. Surely the rising of the mighty waters will not reach them. You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Do not be like the horse or the mule, which have no understanding, but must be controlled by bit and bridle, or they will not come to you. Many are the woes of the wicked, but the Lord's unfailing love surrounds the one who trusts in him. Rejoice in the Lord and be glad, you righteous, sing, and all who are upright in the heart. The psalm opens in verses 1 and 2 with a wonderful declaration that the psalmist knows about himself and about many. It says, blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the one whose sin the Lord does not count against him. So the psalmist knows this to be a joyful and precious things that for those who enjoy this reality, this truth of forgiveness, whose sins they know that they are forgiven. Not only that, who knows that their sin will not be counted against them. We know this, the first time I've encountered these verses was actually in Romans chapter 4, verses 7 and 8, when Paul is talking about, he's already been talking about this righteousness that is now available to those who believe in Jesus, who put faith in Jesus. They receive righteousness. And then that means their condemnation, their judgment that has been counted upon Jesus Christ on the cross. And so they are now forgiven now. They are now declared to be righteous. That means their sins are not counted against them. That is a beautiful truth. That's a beautiful truth that we, the believers, or these people in this psalm, enjoy. That their sins are not counted against them. But in verse 3, it takes us on a journey. It says, when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy on me, and my strength was sapped as in the heat of summer. So the psalmist says, although he knows this truth of the forgiveness of those, of the blessedness of people whom God forgives their sins, whose sins the Lord does not count against them. And I'm sure he knows himself to be one of those people. But there was a time when he was quiet, when he did not bring his sins to the Lord, and where he was, and when during that time, and it describes to us his experience. He felt like his bones were wasting away. He was hiding his sin from God. And we know all about hiding. Adam and Eve were not the last people to be hiding from God from sin because of the sin they've committed. That if we're to be honest with ourselves, that when we also in our lives, when we seem as if we have failed God, we feel unworthy, and Satan is so quick to point to us and tell us that, look at you, you call yourself a child of God, look what you have done, and we are full of shame and feel unworthy and we do not come to God. The psalmist was experiencing the same thing, that he, whatever sin that he has committed, that he kept quiet, he did not bring it to God, and he felt heavy when that was happening. He had no rest day and night. He felt like God's hand was heavy on him. Look at the turning point, verse 5. Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgression to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin. So as he was struggling and he was feeling tired and heavy laden by sin and did not want to bring it to God, when he approached it, when he acknowledged his sin, God forgave him. He forgave his transgression. And to me, that is such a wonderful reminder that we come to God, that we don't come to God with our problems, with our sin, and not knowing what the result will be, not whether He will forgive us or not, whether we'll be in more trouble when we come to Him. But we have this confidence, this surety that if we come to Him and we confess our sin, God is ready to forgive us. And that's what the psalmist experiences, that when he came to God, it says, end of verse 5, you forgave the guilt of my sin. And so after that, the psalmist declares in verse 6, therefore let all the faithful pray to you while you may be found. Saying, as he has experienced that indeed what he declared in verses 1 of 2 of the blessedness of the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are not counted against them. And when actually, and experiences when he was struggling with sin and how that was heavy compared to the time when he came to God and God forgave and freed him of that sin. And then he says to everyone, therefore, go, be quick, immediately, go to pray to God and confess our sins. And this morning, that is my prayer for us, and as a prayer for me, is to remember the blessedness that we have in Jesus Christ. Not only that to know that repentance is not something that was done just that we do once, but it's an everyday thing, that we can come to Him. And we can come to Him in confidence, knowing that God is willing and wants to forgive us. And so don't let any lie that tells us that we are unworthy, because we are worthy, not because of our action, but because of what Jesus done on the cross. We might be an unfinished work, a work in progress, but but Christ paid the penalty of sin, and that with His work is finished. So let us remember that. Amen.